G'day fellas, Twin Turbo 74. Got a video for you. Probably been 2 years since my last one, which was the big 12 scale Lamborghini, which I abandoned. It's back in the pile. I'll get it done one day. But I've got this new one here, the Mclaren MP4 6 in 1/12 scale as well. I've seen a couple of these built on the internet and I've been pretty inspired to have a go at one myself. So I've gone ahead and got this one, 185 Australian, delivered off the internet. Pretty good price. I see them go for about 300 to 400 Australian, so 185 is pretty good. Just been gathering up parts over the last probably 2 months, and just doing a lot of research on the car. It's gonna be pretty heavily detailed, this one. I'm sort of projecting maybe probably 2.5 years, with up to 1,500 to 2,000 parts. As it comes now, there's about 450 parts in there. Then I'll show you later on what I've got so far in terms of detail parts, but there's a lot of parts going to go into this. 1/12 scale, as I said. Give you a that's a 1/20th scale there, just your standard size, just to compare the size of them. They're quite a large car. But you're just going to show you what's inside it. Just go through quickly what's in there and what my plans are for it. Excuse the shaky camera, fellas. I'm going to try and get a tripod set up for us so I can do some decent video footage. I'm going to try and make episodes of the build over the next however long it takes to build, so we'll see how we go with that. Instruction manual. Won't be much use of that. Some nice foil there. Seatbelt detail. Decals. Tyre decals. Probably going to buy a stencil for the tyres and spray the writing on there, I think. Decals, probably won't use these ones. I've gone and bought a few other sets, just see how we go with them. So we've got the body, pretty big, 5 scale as I said. A lot of detail going to go into this thing. I mean, if you just have a look there, and catch the light, obviously not. There's about 40 bolts just going to go, just sitting on top there, 40 to 50 bolts, so just gives you an idea of how many bolts and screws and parts are going to go into this. It's Tamiya kit, comes with nice little carbon sort of texture already moulded in. There's a lot of carbon fibre going to go on it anyway, but probably can't, there's a bit there. I'm going to cut the nose off, get some detail on the reservoirs in there for the brake lines and whatnot. Got the wheels in there, a few details to go on that as well. Miscellaneous screws, probably won't use half of those. I'm also on the waiting list for the Thunder Valley detail kit for this car as well. There's a host of parts, resin parts, photo etch parts, all sorts of good stuff to go along with it. Now it's got tyres, suspension arms, that's the engine block, more suspension pieces, wiring, some miscellaneous bits. So some engine parts there, air scoop, rocker covers. As I said, I've done a fair bit of research on the car. I've got the as many photos I can gather on the car. I've read a few of the big builds on this car that some of the guys have done. so there won't be much that'll be left in this car that'll be standard. A lot of modifying, hence the 2.5 years it's going to take to build projected. Some more body parts there. Some more suspension and mainly suspension parts there. I'm getting turned alloy suspension that comes in the Thunder Valley kit, or part of the kit. It's going to be displayed with the cover off, wheels off, up on stand, so you can get a full appreciation for the detail that's going to go in. Got side pods, cockpit's going to be heavily modified and detailed. Brake ducts, heap of carbon fibre going on, scratch built parts. This will be my first really extreme detailed build. I'm normally pretty placid with my builds, but going to have a good go at it. This kit so far has cost me, as I said, $185 for the kit. I just spent $180 the other day with some miscellaneous parts. I'm sort of guessing around the 700-800 Australian over the 2.5 years once it's built. Exhaust, big part of the car is the engine, of course. So the exhaust going to get a lot of modifying. The brakes, they build up okay from what I've seen, but to buy aftermarket brakes are pretty expensive for this car. I've seen them selling for about $300, which I'm not prepared to pay at all. So I'm considering buying a hobby-sized lathe, metal turning lathe, with some Christmas money maybe coming up, and maybe have a go at it myself. The discs don't look too hard to do. I'll use the calipers, just detail them up. Radiators, I've got some photo etch radiator screen. The hoses will be redone, all the plumbing redone. There's a fire extinguisher, ECU, that'll get some heavy modifying. And you got your funnels there, they won't be used. I've got some aluminium turn pieces coming in the Thunder Valley kit. Chassis, the pan, the size of that compared to my hand, that's it. Substantial. Windows, from what I hear and what I can see, they're oversized and too thick for the car, so I'm going to try and source some more scaled window. I'm building the #1 car of Senna. Yeah, it's just no particular reason. Just a bit of it's the 20th anniversary, I believe, this year of his death. So not that that's got anything to do with it, but yeah. So that's the kit. I'm trying to keep this pretty short, fellas. Let me just get this out of the way and we'll move on to what I've bought so far. Again, apologies for the shaky camera, boys. So, probably can't see them, but that's just, they're actually 1/24th valve stems for wheels off 1/24th. I'll probably turn them into switches or something for the control panel. I've got some new axles there, wheel nuts. Far better than the stock ones. Just a heap of miscellaneous, resin, electrical switches, AN fittings. Got a heap of those to buy. Just some. That's actually 0.4mm tubing there. Looks like wire, but it's actually tubing. Tyre decals. As I said, probably won't use them. Might use a couple of them. Whole heap of carbon fibre. Plenty more of that to buy. And just a few more different of the tobacco sponsors. Photo etch radiator covers, wing end plates. I'll probably end up using these decals. The red on the tobacco sponsorship looks closer to the red on the car. These ones are, probably can't see it, but they're quite orange and pinky. So I'll probably end up going with those. It's got some, I'll only need one of course, just some, sorry boys, I'm on the iPhone here, can't really focus, but they're small springs. That'll be just for the accelerator cable to go on that. And then the fun bit, all the little bolts, all the Allen head screws, all the bolts with flanges, and 300 bolts there boys. 300 nuts and bolts, individual, and plenty more to come, I dare say. I bought me one of these too the other day. I've never used it. A lot of photo etch going into this car as well, so I got a photo etch bender. Didn't have one, 50 bucks. May as well. Yeah, so that's just, I don't know, we'll call this episode 1 if you like. Episode 2 will be a fair way away, I would think. I'm getting itchy to start this car, but I didn't want to start it until I did an unboxing, so now that's done, I'll put the camera down and get stuck into it, I think. So yeah, thanks for tuning in boys. Hopefully you'll see another one shortly.